Welcome to Builds with Blocks, a show centered around the micro action figures and brick-based construction sets of the Halo universe. I'm your host Tom Fishenden, and I'm joined by Colin Perkins.
You be the host for Infinity?
Oh my
No. That's Captain Lasky. Matt Salvatore.
Boy, how we doing, guys?
And Gabe Clem.
Hey guys.
With the final set reveals trickling out earlier this month, we finally have a view of what Halo Mega Construx sets will be on the shelf later this year. The crew and I wanted to give you our impressions of the full wave before we get the sets in hand, and we also wanted to look forward to Halo Infinite's release this holiday, fingers crossed. Before we get into the main topic of the show, let's chat about what we've been up to on the block front. So Gabe, I'm going to go to you first today.
Well, I've gotten quite a few. So I've got friends in Nebraska who helped me get a lot of, they helped me get the Chief and the Hunter from the Pelican before I actually had a Pelican. And the same friend sent me 8 blue Mark 7 Spartans that I needed for various custom figures. So I have a whole menagerie of those now. This past 4th of July, for all of our American viewers, I made a Uncle Sam Spartan custom.
Oh, that's
and
good.
It has a 3D printed head with a little top hat on, and it's painted with like stars and stripes and all that. That was a lot of fun to work on.
It was so cool. America.
But yeah, I mean, customs as usual. I've got I have a Forward Unto Dawn Chief coming out soon. Someone commissioned that. I took it on because I realized I've never made that specific version of Master Chief
baby
before.
Chief.
Yeah, little baby Chief. Well,
that Forward Unto Dawn Chief.
I need to do a Fall of Reach armor Master Chief. That's baby Chief.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we've got customs going, got a whole bunch of figures for some parts. I haven't really been out to look at any sets or anything. I'm just waiting for the new blind packs to show up, and hopefully I can get those for some parts. But I've decided I'm going to branch into making more of the book characters. So the first one I'm going to start with is Veda Lopus from the cover of Troy Denning's newest book. And then afterwards, I think I'm going to shoot for Castor.
Oh, cool. Love that.
Speaking of Castor, I just finished Shadows of Reach. I'm late to the game, but I just finished it.
Yeah?
Wow.
Like that?
Yeah.
What a
Hashtag spoilers. Yeah, that's a good book.
But yeah,
I wasn't expecting that at the end, yeah.
We gotta talk about that offline.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Sweet. Well, I'm going to throw it back to Blocks Talk for now. So, Matt, what have you been up to since we last spoke?
I got 2 more of the segment rings. They had a nice little.
Nice.
Yep. So it said
it
said mercenary combat unit, but it was actually the rings.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. So it's the ring. So I got 2 of those. And
oh, wait a minute. You intended to buy something else?
No, I wanted the rings, and it had the pictures and the description of the ring.
Gotcha.
And then it said the title card on the actual product was the combat unit, and I'm like, oh well, all right, I'm gonna, either way, I got something. So I got the rings, and then I canceled my the Halo Heroes, which we're gonna be talking about. I canceled my order from Amazon, and I just went and bought them on eBay. So instead of them coming on August 30th or whenever they were coming, they're gonna come like in 3 more days. So
yeah.
Oh, nice.
It only cost me eight more bucks, but I'm like, I'm not gonna wait. Amazon's
Fair play.
donezo for me. But and then that's about it. I think, yeah, that's about it on the block front.
Okay.
What about your build? You're doing your
my
shutdown video,
shutdown.
right?
My shutdown, yeah, that's right. I did a mock video of shutdown. A lot of cool comments. I'm glad everybody liked it. I had a lot of fun putting it together. Hopefully I can do something else with it. It's a little hard to do stop motion because it's not all that stable. So The Forerunners make it
Do
look
a
so
time
easy.
lapse of it exploding. There you go.
Yeah, right.
I'll just knock one down
Yeah.
and just carry
Nice.
everything with it.
Krista has been wanting us
Yep.
to like destroy a vehicle. Just throw your pelican at it and see what happens.
Krista's a monster.
Yeah, the pain that just caused me.
She keeps putting videos in the chat of like people throwing their Star Destroyers off of.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Krista, if you're watching, this is why you're not on Builds with Blocks. And then Colin, what about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been preparing for Halo 5, our ranking conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I have built the Wraith, the Halo 5 Wraith.
Ooh.
And that was a
Good
good
set.
build.
Yeah.
Is this your first time building it?
Yeah, I've had it for a while. I
Wow.
started it a long time ago, and then I intended to build it with my oldest, and then it just got put on the back burner or whatever, and so I finally just put it together. So yeah, it's a cool vehicle. It's a little flimsier than from hard play, but the boys have it right now, and they haven't completely broken it, and they've actually set up I think they had a Spartan driving it and 2 elites hanging off the sides for a little joyride.
That's awesome.
Road
Yeah,
trip.
so it's fun to see what they come up with. And then I built another W, Wraith Wasp. I also built the original Wasp, which is a really good build. I really enjoyed that. I'm excited to get the new one in my hands to figure out what the differences are. It is, and it feels really good in the hand too. That's the other thing. You just kind of you can fly that thing around, and it's got little shooters in it. They did a really good job with that thing. And then the third W is the Warzone Phaeton. I haven't built that one yet.
Oh, cool.
The Helios Strike version,
the orange
one said I really want.
That one disappeared overnight. It was on Amazon for ages, and then it was just gone.
Yeah.
And it's not on Mega's website either. So Mega, if you're listening, if you upload those files finally, it'd be nice to have that up there. But I'm going to put that together, and I've heard that it's a little bit different. The basic build is the same. I just watched, I think, Jang's reviews of it.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of little tweaks that they made to it. And I like the color scheme too. So that is on the list. Infinity's on the list. We'll see. Our recording is going to be at the end of the month here, so I got to get started on the Infinity, and then I think I'm going to try the Spirit as well. So that's 2 huge sets that I got to get cracking on. But we'll see. Hopefully you guys have perspective on that stuff in case I don't
save up lots of podcasts to listen to while you build.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
I have a really fun story to share about the Infinity when we get to that episode, so I'm excited for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
One
Did
other
it randomly
thing,
just break
Yeah.
like Infinity normally does?
right?
It
Yeah.
just split in half.
One other thing is the boys, my oldest, so CJ and Henry. They came up to me one day and they're like, I want a new figure. And so I'm like, okay, what kind of figure you want? And so I showed them kind of what the 2 blind bags that are available on shelf right now. So Series 1, Series 2. And they each picked one out, and they each gave me $3 for their figure. So I have that actually in front of me right here. And so I got to go pick out the Elite Ultra, the gray one, is for Henry, and then CJ wanted of the options, he wanted the Mark 7, the blue one with brute shot. He really liked the brute shot weapon. He thought that was cool. So I'm gonna go grab an extra one of those for them, and
It's awesome.
Nice.
Best
Look at that, your kids are growing
even
up.
doing the feeling and the searching for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's the numbers.
Cool. I'm gonna disappoint you guys because I've been back in Legoville recently.
Oh boy.
Mainly. Well, I've been mixed. I've kind of done the usual Tom thing of spending money when I don't really need to. So,
just like last episode and the episode before.
And the episode before that, and the episode before that. I'll start with on the Mega front. I have gone, well, I obviously got Halo Heroes Series 14, which was really cool to take a look at. Did a review on that on the channel. Some cool figures in there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I don't know why, but I got really back into Call of Duty. So I picked up a second one of the Spec Ops versus Mercenaries pack, which is like these 2 green guys who are meant to be SAS troopers, essentially, and then a couple of mercs with cargo pants that have got painted camouflage on them.
Nice.
And then I got the most recent version of the Little Bird they've done. So I think it's called the Special Ops Helicopter. And it's like meant to be the version of the Little Bird. It's got benches on the side. So in real life, there's like benches that soldiers strap onto and then they use it for insertion. This version kind of just has a one stud wide plate on top of the landing struts that the figures are like meant to perch on. So it's not quite perfect, but it was quite a cool build nonetheless.
Nice.
And then I'm trying to think. Oh, Jurassic has been expensive because they finally
Oh,
made
boy.
a Ford Explorer. So
Oh, right.
that I may or may not have 3 of that set in this bedroom currently.
Did you get
Yeah.
the Transformers crossover?
Not yet.
I got a couple
I'm-
pre-ordered. Let me know.
I'm,
if
About
you
the
want.
I'm
Fast and
working
Furious.
on it. I'm working on seeing if Hasbro are feeling very, very nice and
All right.
want to be kind. Hasbro, if you're listening, please.
Hasbro, please.
I don't
Remember,
know what
Tom.
you're listening to this, but please. And then, lastly, very quickly, I got back into Marvel more recently, and with all of the Disney Plus stuff. And I got really ill after my second COVID jab, so I was just lying in bed rewatching Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. And rewatching them both together just made me crumble, and I went
It's
straight
like
on
6
Amazon.
hours of movie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like went straight on Amazon, bought the new Avengers Endgame Final Battle set with like the Avengers compound, Iron Man, Cap, Thor, and Thanos. And
Is
was
that
like,
the
yeah,
new one that they did, or is that the older one?
yeah, it's literally the one that's just released at £70.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
I was
out.
like, I need it. It is out in the UK. It's not out in the US yet.
Figures.
So
Big
yeah,
yes.
expensive month as per usual. And I'm probably going to have to stop spending money soon. And on that positive note, let's
Should
move
have
into
a
the main
while
topic
ago.
for today. So today, obviously, we are going to be talking about the full sets. We have now got a closer look at all of them. I think it's fair to say it's perhaps a little bit more of a skeleton wave than we were expecting, probably due to the delay of the game itself. So what we're going to do is take a look at what we are getting, break things down, talk through them, talk about what we like, what we don't like, and kind of do a nice summary of our thoughts ahead of actually getting these things in hand. So we're going to start with Blind Bag Series 3. Okay, so Blind Bag Series 3, and I'm going to throw this one out to Matt to see what you think.
There are quite a few interesting figures in here that I think add to it. Some colors I don't like. I have to say, like, the is interesting as like a concept for what we're gonna see in Infinite. So I think it's very intriguing. I think it kind of excites me about what cool stuff's going on with the Banish. You know, they're just kind of making these grunts carry all their weapons for him. I like that. And I think he's so highly detailed. I would have thought this would be a Heroes figure. Just with the paint application, thing like that.
Have
I
we
love
seen
the
an
camo.
in-game render of him yet?
He is in
his dead
the
body.
demo. He's in the new campaign snippet
right.
that they showed at E3.
That's
He's
right.
dead,
Right.
but he's in
Yeah.
the snippet.
Good. The only good grunt is a dead grunt.
No, they're funny. I want a sidekick.
I do like the new Hermes armor, and I know we'll talk about it a little later, but I do like I just like how the helmet feels a bit more not blocky, but just a little more jagged. So I like that.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I do, like I said, I like the Ultra mold. The colors not for me though. But all in all, I say this is a pretty solid line. I think it's nice to see that the armor variants that we're going to see in some other figures coming up later. It's cool to see them here with the colors. I like it.
So I'm looking at Kevin's blog post on Unboxed, and I think he calls the Fred Armor cohort on there.
Interesting.
Instead
Spartan
of
cohort
Centurion?
Gen 3. He said making its debut in green. So, and that's the only green one in there.
Yeah, so it must be a new armor type.
Isn't that a
So-
Centurion armor?
Yeah, it's just
very,
Centurion.
very
Traditionally, yeah, unless
Yeah.
something else changed from it. So that's what he calls it in the blog.
Interesting.
Oh, there we go. Did you have any other comments for this wave as well while we're on it, Colin?
The Wasp is cool.
Yep.
I'm into the Wasp. I think we probably mentioned it before at some point, but there's a lot of Wasp things happening in Infinite,
Yeah.
so I feel like it's going to be a big part of the campaign, which
The
will be
Wasp
fun.
is going to have a good sting in this game.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's
Much better than mine.
There's
since
a
the
lot of
beginning.
news buzzing about it.
The use of the Miranda Keys head for the Marine is cool too.
Yes.
I'm into that. So yeah, I think it's overall pretty good series because you have the mass ability of the Marine and the Grunt, and then the active camo for the Brute is pretty rad as well.
Yeah.
And then they're colorful Spartans, which is fine, or colorful other characters because you have the color of the Elite Ultra too. So yeah, I'm into it.
Does the hammer look shorter to you?
No,
Me.
it looks about the same size, but maybe.
What about you, Gabe? Have you got anything else to add on this wave?
Out of the entire lineup, I'd say the Hermes, obviously the Grunt, the Centurion. Those are probably like my top picks, hands down. The Centurion really just because I use that for a lot of custom figures.
Yeah.
The forearms and the legs specifically are almost identical to Halo 3, and it's what I've been parading that they should put on Halo 3 figures, although that has not worked out too well. But I'm really happy to see that figure return. I think the last time we saw one was either Fred from the booster frame or the orange one from Series Charlie, which was back in like 2013. But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. The Grunt looks I'm excited to see more like what its purpose is in the game, but as a figure, I mean, it looks cool enough. I can't wait to see people put different kinds of weapons and weaponry on the back and see how crazy you can make it. But I'm super excited for Wave 3.
I want to know if the Grunt panics, does it like pull the weapons off and throw them at you? That would be so cool.
He probably drops it and runs.
Yeah. Drops his pack. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, to be honest.
The only thing I wanted to add to this wave is the fact I think the Marine variety again is quite good here. So obviously, Colin, you mentioned the Miranda Keys head, but I also really like the fact that she's got the female mold for the short sleeves. Because I don't think we've actually got that. Yeah, there we go. If you are indeed playing Builds with Blocks Bingo with us tonight, then there you go. There's one. And also, I like the fact that she's got a black undershirt because it just makes it, again, slightly different to having the fully green fatigues as well. So yeah, we'll move on to Halo Hero Series.
Let me just make one more comment. Like, it's probably hot on Zeta Halo, right? Because there's a lot of short sleeve.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So moving on to Halo Hero Series 14. If it's cool with you guys, I'm gonna run point on this one and then hand it out to you since I've done the review on our channel. So I think this is a fairly decent wave. I think again the kind of fatigue of only having so many toys in the sandbox to play with pre-launch sort of shows here. Obviously the weakest examples, in my opinion, being both the Trailblazer and the Mark 7, which we've seen plenty of times beforehand.
So we've got back-to-back Trailblazers, right?
We have, yes.
Yeah.
And back-to-back Chiefs and back-to-back Mark 7s.
Yeah, right. So it's a little weird. I mean, different colorations, and the color looks pretty good, right? But that's a little weird that we're getting...
Well, you say different colorations, but it's not that different.
It's a white Trailblazer and a white
the Trailblazer beforehand was white as well. It just didn't have the digital camo.
Yeah.
So I did find that quite an interesting crossover. I will say I think Hyperius adds more detail in some areas. He definitely takes away some things. He doesn't have the fingerless gloves anymore or the detail for the feet. But I still think it's a nice, in some ways, upgraded version of Hyperius. I think the Jackal Freebooter is a really good army builder. The skin's just a little bit pale. It looks like maybe It's been avoiding the sun on Zeta Halo, as we were saying. It's
There we
nice
go.
and hot.
Hiding in a
This
cave.
jackal's staying in the shade. It's not going out. It does use the new alien hand mold that they've been using for the prophets, and
the
they're now
two
using for
fingers.
the elites as well. Yeah.
Cool.
I thought it looked a little bit weird on the jackal. I'm not gonna lie, because obviously it's got like the quite thin, spindly forearm, and then coming down into these bulky fingers looked a little bit weird. But it's probably just something I need to adjust to over time. And then lastly, the chief is another chief figure. Really, there's not much more to say there.
What's the main difference on him? Is it just the
He's a
kind of
lot
damage and
darker.
his- Oh, okay.
So this one is more.
cool.
He's kind of more in line with sort of the. Not. I was going to say the green that's used for red team, so like Jerome, but it's even darker than that green. It's kind of like
Like the pelican shade of green?
not even really that shade. Sort of like the shade of the chief that came with the original cryopod set. That kind of dark green color.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's a lot darker.
Wow.
So, like, how would that compare to the chief that came with the cracked visor? That kind of dark? Is that how you're talking, or is that too dark?
I'm
That's
trying to
probably too
picture
dark.
crack
That was
visor.
really dark.
Yeah, that's
That
really
was super dark.
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
really cool.
it'd be like somewhere in between. It's like it's sort of the perfect replica of the color green that the Toys R Us chief I mentioned a while back had from Halo 5.
Okay.
It's like that kind of darker tone for it.
Okay. And they made that adjustment in the game too, right? That's from between the two trailers.
Yes.
The most recent trailer, his armor is darker, so it seems like they've reflected that in the toy.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, I did actually, when I did the review, I commented that it looks a lot like the new E3 footage, which was really cool. Did you guys have anything else to add on the Halo Heroes front? Matt, go for it.
Okay, I just had a couple questions. So since I haven't seen the back of this Hyperius, so compared to the Hyperius that came in the AA gun, is his hair still really bright and obnoxiously orange?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a slight difference, but it's still quite obvious that there's like bright colored hair there.
Okay. Okay. And another thing with the Trailblazer, I really like the pixely armor. I don't know what that means for the game, but it reminded me of and I mentioned this on the video that I did, that it looks like I don't know if you guys have seen G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, but they got the like little pixely things that
the
take
reactive
pictures.
armor.
Yeah, so does that do you think this is like the UNSC's attempt at doing their own kind of active camo?
I think it's probably an armor coating, if I'm honest, but that does potentially appear in something that Gabe mentioned earlier, and I'll leave that up to people if they want to really think about that or not.
Well, I have an idea. Because there's the Best Buy exclusive pop where Chief has plant camo all over him. And then I think there's another piece of merchandise that has that different type of camo, but I really feel like in Infinite we're gonna see active camo, and then we're gonna see like even in Shadows of Reach, actually they mention it, like they have reflective armor that goes around and like changes, instead of clear, maybe you'll be like gray to match rocks, or green for in the forest. And I think maybe we'll see a little bit of that.
So technically, that could mean that the the Hermes and the cohort that are in this figure assortment are actually just versions of Fred and Kelly who are camouflaged somewhere.
Oh God!
Ooh.
What is Kelly? Creamsicle? She's orange,
she's
yellow.
Like, she's
like
lying in
and
an
white.
ice cream parlor.
You don't know what's on an alien world.
Get down! Like what?
I have a question. The Hyperius set, or the Hyperius figure. So in the instructions for that one, does it say how he killed Block?
Oh my God.
It's just a mashup, Colin.
But I can't say because unfortunately we're a non-spoiler podcast.
It's just a mashup. They're like, let's just mash Locke's helmet with Hyperius.
You'll have to wait until you play Halo Infinite in 2025.
No.
I'm gonna cry.
I'm out.
Gabe, did you have anything you wanted to add around the heroes?
I'll definitely be getting a couple of the Jackal. I'll probably buy Hyperius just to compare it to the one that I have from the AA turret. I can because I'm an addict, I'm probably gonna get the full series. But what the
Well, yeah,
point?
you will.
The point, like, I could live without Chief and the Trailblazer and the Mark 7. But I will say that it is so refreshing to get a figure in a bright purple again for the first time in like 4 years or something. I think the last one was a purple Scout. So we just don't get purple figures often that are on the UNSC side. So that was refreshing to see. And I like that figure a lot, actually.
Okay, so make the jokes you want about how many Master Chiefs we're getting, but the fact that you said it's darker actually really makes me want to get it, because I'm super picky.
Yeah.
I'm super picky with how the color of Chief is. Like
now he likes the Chiefs.
And I like this one. Looks like he got run over by a tire track, but I love that you said darker, because that's super intriguing for me. Like, I mean, this is the benefit of having multiple Chiefs. It's choose your own Chief adventure.
Well, exactly. And I mean, I'm going to call it now. Mega aren't done with Chief, because at some point we're getting one that's got the grapple shot sculpted onto the forearm. So I think it's fair to say that despite some of the figures in this wave being a repeat, we still like most of them, and we'll end up acquiring most of them, even if it is another Master Chief.
Well, once you start getting all of the Halo heroes, it's going to be tough to really.
Need another figure, bro.
Once you start on that dark journey, forever will it dominate your destiny.
Yep.
What kind of scripture was that from? What in the world?
That's Obi-Wan Kenobi, man. Oh no, Yoda. Sorry,
Man,
Yoda.
One of those Jedi.
That was way deeper than this show usually gets. I was like, wow, I need to reevaluate.
It really felt like a force just came over the show.
Jeez.
Just call me truth.
Have mercy.
So moving forwards, we will very briefly touch on the 20th anniversary character pack. I'm not even going to ask you for your thoughts on this one, guys, because I think it's clear that we're all very, very excited. If you would like to hear our raw reactions to this set, then go and listen to the announcement episode, where we were lucky enough to actually work with Mega to help with revealing this set. It's a really, really fun episode, so go and check that one out. You'll see us freaking out lots.
So I think they did confirm, though, that this one will be widely available, right? It's not going to be exclusive to any retailer or anything.
How awesome is that?
I believe that was in one of Kevin's posts.
Yeah, it was in Kevin's blog post on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
This might just be the greatest thing Mega's ever done.
There's one thing I want to mention about it, though, because in that same blog post where he put up pictures and everything on the forums, Jerome is very, very bright.
Yeah.
And I know that he said they were like the first runs, like they weren't official, but like I really hope they darken Jerome, because he was very bright.
It's like I said to you, Gabe, they're going for the Venom color with him. So that was what I said back when it was revealed. He's gonna match the Spartan 2 that came with the original Banished Banshee.
Jeez.
See, that now if Mega released a bunch of Jeromes, we would also get a Dark Jerome.
We have to go through all that just to get the dark version.
Release the Jeromed verse.
So one quick correction, though, that I made when we talked about Jerome in that video.
Yeah.
I think that's the Halo Wars 2 Jerome, because I think in Halo Wars 2 is where he has the stripe. In Halo Wars, they're all, just the green chest.
I think he has it in Halo Wars as well, because the original McFarlane figure had the stripe for Halo Wars.
He has it in both games, but unless I'm crazy, I'm pretty sure the stripe changed which side it was on.
Yeah, it might have. I feel like I had that.
Like, I thought it was over here, but the Mega figure has it over here, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
anyway.
So.
It's true. He's only in Halo Wars, so.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
So, yeah, all in all, I think we're really looking forward to the 20th anniversary pack. And when that releases, we will, of course, talk about it on episodes. We will do a review. And since this is a pack which has so many characters that have released in various formats beforehand, we are going to try and do a comparison as well. I need to go through and look at what I've got in my collection so I know what I can compare it to, and I'm going to try and map it out so we can do a really fun video for you guys as well.
Find those Johnsons.
Yeah.
I wonder if Daniel would do a comparison too, a Mizra Armory.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
He's got all the figures.
Shout out.
So that'd be cool.
That would be really cool. So we're going to move into the vehicles now. Only 3 for this assortment. The first of which we saw some time ago, but we never really spoke about in any detail, so we're going to now. And that is Chopper Takedown. So a set which comes with Spartan Fred from Blue Team, and also presumably the main villain of Halo Infinite, or at least that's how he's being portrayed currently, the Brute War Chieftain Escharum.
Yeah.
So Matt, I'm going to throw this one over to you first, because I think you're quite excited for this set.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited this one. But spoilers for Infinite, Escharum gets killed off in the first 5 minutes in a quick cutscene. Yep. So don't get too attached. No, actually, I'm super excited about this set. I really loved the Brute Chopper that Mega did with Cat and the Bubble Shield.
Yes.
I thought that was excellent. This one looks like it ups the ante. I definitely think that it's an improved version of what we saw before. It looks a little more even. I don't know if you could even make it more brutish, but it looks even more like a Brute vehicle.
Yeah.
Especially with the red. And I love the little hairline scratches on the red.
Yeah.
I think that's such a nice detail. Really kind of shows that this thing has actually been on the road, on the open road, flying through Escherum's hair. I think that I broke down.
Isn't he bald?
Yeah, that's right.
through his chin.
He's got a
Through his
beard,
chin.
yeah.
He's got a beard. That's right. Yeah, he's got some facial hair. The figures are the highlight for me. I really, really want to get my hands on Escharum. I love how they did his armor. He looks awesome. I'm really keen on trying to collect all the Brute leaders. Fred.
Cool.
So Fred is an interesting part of this set. Obviously, I think we all kind of, if everyone took out their tinfoil hat and put it on right now, I'd say Blue Team is in Infinite. But obviously this set doesn't confirm that because it is a mashup. But I am super nice to actually be able to get the Blue Team figures in the Shadows of Reach art design.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think they're going to be in Infinite, but even if not, I'm really happy that we're actually going to be able to get these guys and kind of recreate those awesome scenes from Shadows of Reach. So I'm actually super excited about that. The turret looks actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited to finally get my hands on one of the ones that actually shoot, because I haven't done that. The 2-in-1 build is also pretty cool. It looks like a banished drone. Looks like
it's
just
weird seeing the Banished with a drone, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't think they're that advanced, yeah. But it's really cool. I kind of like the idea that and this is something you could use completely. Maybe you could have drone wars and have the little ODST drone, right? This drone.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and then the little turret's pretty cool too. But the drone is obviously the best part of the 2-in-1 build. But going off of what Kevin said, it's awesome to see that they made something completely different, and I think that's kind of the coolest thing about that. So, probably my favorite set of what Mega has done this wave, mainly because of the figures, mainly because I really want to get Escharum. So,
what color was Fred's armor in Halo 5?
Blue.
Yeah.
Was it the darker blue?
No, pretty
lighter blue.
It was about that.
A much lighter blue, actually.
Much lighter than that? Okay.
Linda was the only one that was white.
Right, yeah.
Which we'll see that they changed that a little bit.
Cool.
So, Gabe, what are your thoughts on this set?
Just like Matt, I'm really excited to get the figures. I actually want to get a couple. We can almost assume that Escharum is going to be re-released as a hero or something, but
for sure.
until that happens, I want to get a couple so that I can make a custom, more or less. Not like I know, but a game accurate version. At least make him taller, make him bigger. But I'm really happy that he's an official figure. I was gonna make a custom, then they announced this, and I was like, okay, my life is way easier now because he's got those weird spike things right here. Like he's got some funky looking armor, but I dig it.
That looks sick though.
Seeing Fred back, awesome. Again, Centurion armor, really happy that's making a return. But the chopper itself looks so beefy. There's just spikes and points and sharp edges everywhere, and it looks amazing. I can't wait to get it. I'm still waiting on my pre-order.
Yep, same. Amazon.
I'm really interested to see how the kind of the teeth of the wheel is built.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure. Kevin's talked about their tooling budget to see if there's any, because that's where the new molds stuff comes into play. So it'll be interesting to see if any new pieces come out of this set outside of Eshrum's chest plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just looking at it though, looking at this original one. Oop, you see it?
Yeah.
It's just so much more details on the new one. So much more teeth, like you were talking about. Looks.
Well,
oh man.
I want somebody. Tom, do you have one of like the actual like 2010 choppers?
I do.
I have some of those.
Dude,
I think
wait.
I gave one away.
Someone in this group needs to get the new chopper and compare it to one of the very first choppers, and just look at the leaps and bounds Mega has made.
I have the very first chopper.
That's awesome. The purple one.
I don't remember what color it is.
Yeah,
it's been a
the
while
purple
since I've looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a purple, and then the red one came with the chieftain. But either way, I just want to see it compared because I know that would be sick.
Yep.
I'll have a look and see if I've still got the purple one as well, because I know I've got the red one somewhere, the chieftain charge.
Interesting.
So if I do, we could do all four in one video.
Oh,
there you go.
I don't have the chieftain one, but interestingly, I was looking at this one, and the handle system for this one is different. And this one, it seems more fixed to the actual one. I kind of liked it when they gave you a little give with the handle, so that your figure wasn't like.
I think that might be.
Yeah.
I think it might be tied into the enhanced functionality on the new one, because the new one can swivel between the wheel and the seat, and that one can't, can it? Or can it? Oh my god! I never even knew it did that.
Yep.
Well, here we go. Builds with blocks.
That's why you read the instructions when you build.
Who reads instructions? I just build based on the box pics and hope it looks the same. I think the only thing. Oh, actually, wait, hold up, Colin. I've not asked you if you've got anything to add.
No, I just talked about the teeth of the build.
Oh,
I want to
get
it. I want to build it. I think it looks like a fun build.
Cool. I think the only thing I've got to add is it did strike me as a little bit weird that Escharum has the gravity hammer when we've seen some merchandise of him with like the gravity axe, I want to say, or mace, but I imagine, like Gabe says, if he does come in a heroes assortment further down the line, that would probably be where we'd get a specific piece like that could then be reintroduced into other sets. So not too concerned about it not being here, just an interesting observation to make. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, I kind of like that Mega release of the leader of the Banished with a small vehicle. It kind of reminds me of when we got that Jewel Mandama with that really awesome ghost.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so that was all of our thoughts on the chopper. Now we're going to move on to UNSC Razorback Blitz, so the most recent set to be revealed, and a fill-in for a Warthog this year. So not a Warthog, but its beefier cousin. Gabe, what are you thinking about the Razorback?
Right off the bat, really happy that there's Kelly. Ever since they revealed that Hermes in the series 3, I was assuming there would be a Kelly, and I'm happy to see one. Confused why she doesn't have 087 on her chest.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a little odd. But I mean, outside of that, I'm still.
I don't know. So are those what we've seen, like computer renderings? Maybe it's just not like official photography. Who knows?
Maybe.
Somebody didn't click visible on the layer.
Yeah, the one layer. Right.
Well, the official one that was released, she's holding the shotgun in front, so you can't see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So hopefully it's there. That'd be nice.
But yeah, Kelly looks awesome. Comes with another grunt mule with a few red shock rifles. You have the brute in purple. I made a purple brute just a couple days before this, but interesting note about the brute.
He said that to me.
The interesting thing about the brute is he's got Destiny shoulders.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They're from Destiny Titan, which is interesting. And then obviously there's another Marine which comes with ODST shoulders, which is pretty cool. But The build itself looks really cool. The alternate build, even, it makes a little base and a comm tower, and there's like a little mech suit for the brute, which looks sweet. I can't wait to put that. That might actually be an alternate build that I want to do. But the vehicle itself looks super tanky. I like it. It's kind of like a mix between a warthog and a spade. I'm excited to put a bunch of Spartans on the back, and I want to see if they've got a weapon rack in the back, like how they did in the multiplayer footage. But I'm super excited about this set. I can't wait to get it.
Cool. Matt, any quick fire thoughts on this one?
I think I'll echo pretty much everything Gabe said. I love seeing Kelly, although how will we know it's Kelly without her numbers?
I know. Chief has
know
numbers.
You want Kelly's number, Matt, okay?
Yo.
It's that accent. The only thing I'll say about the Razorback, the only thing I'll say about the Razorback is that it looks pretty spot on, except for I feel like the front portion looks a little narrow, where I feel like the images that we've seen, the sides are higher than the middle, so it looks a little. I would say the front looks a little more like a warthog than what I was envisioning it would look like. But that's just a personal gripe that I have with it. The windshield looks awesome. It almost kind of gives me like a Wolverine. Yeah. It looks almost like a Wolverine type shield. So I like that. I'm super excited to get this warthog. And if you look really close, man, the suspension system in there looks intense.
I think it's the same, isn't it, as the warthog? The new warthog?
Yeah, it looks. There's something hanging off to the side that looks almost like a grapple hook. But it looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, you can see the suspension system in the back. Yeah, it looks about the same. But no, I'm super excited for the set. Like Gabe said, the alt build is awesome as well.
It looks really nice.
Another excuse to get two.
There you go.
And Colin, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the color. I think it's it's a beautiful looking truck thing, and it'll be fun. Hopefully, this is one of the new vehicles that we're getting in Infinite, and it'll be one of the staples. I think it'll be fun to have as part of the mix for sure.
Cool. I think for me, I agree with what Matt has said. I think the front looks a little bit funny. And I also thought the back looked a little bit elongated. I don't know if maybe it's just the angle we've seen, but the long bar across the top looked a bit long to me.
Sure.
Okay.
I just don't think we've seen a good side view of it in the game, have we?
Yeah.
No.
Like the one shot that they have at an angle is that kind of just looks like a warthog. But
okay, so as you can see, Gabe has been hit by an incinerator cannon and he has disappeared. No, we're just kidding. He had to go. So we are going to wrap this up without him. So we're going to move on to the UNSC Wasp Onslaught. So, Colin, I'm going to throw this one to you first.
Yeah.
Again, one that we've had for a while and we have spoken about a little bit. How are you feeling about it now? You kind of got all your thoughts together around it.
Yeah. So, I think we've spoken about it. The turret's really cool, game accurate. The fact that you get a hunter is great. This is another chief here, which is it's fine. This is almost like is this the marquee set of the?
Yes.
Is it the biggest piece count? So this is 409. I think the others are underneath that. So this is the biggest of the sets. Yeah. Which is which I'm okay with. I think one of the things that we talked about, and maybe we'll talk about this at the end, is we don't have a really big set, like a $60 plus or something like that. But again, delay stuff and all that. But having built the Wasp, the Warzone Wasp recently, I'm looking at the two pictures side by side, and I think the footprint of the vehicle is about the same. It's just the detail is different, and I think that's just because it was redesigned for Halo Infinite. So I would imagine it's an accurate representation of the Wasp in Halo Infinite versus what was given to us in Halo 5. And I almost compare it as an F1 racer to a NASCAR. They both look fast. They both look good. The F1 is the H5, the Halo 5 version. And we're getting a NASCAR stock version of this thing. And so you don't have the additional detail on the kind of the tail portion of it. The wings are a little bit higher up. But again, I think they probably designed that off of the new Wasp that we're getting. So I'm excited to get it in my hands. And like I said, when I built the Wasp 4, it was like a really good one just to hold on to. So I can picture my kids, flying this thing around. I think it'll be a good vehicle to have in the mix.
Cool. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, no, I don't have the Warzone Wasp, so I'm super, super excited to get my hands on this one. I like that the color, from what I can tell, it matches the Pelican. So yeah. I like that kind of cohesive synergy going on there. Interestingly enough, Chief looks like he's been in a barbecue because he's got the... So that's barbecue Chief. He's it's so hot that they just decided to cook on the Wasp.
Darker Chief, we've got barbecue Chief.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's going to be next? Sticky Toffee Chief.
I think what really grabs my attention about this set though is the turret. The shade turret looks so awesome, and I was just, occasionally I pull up the Infinite gameplay trailer just to watch, just to dream. Yeah, just to dream. Anyway, so then it looks so, and I was just, I've seen the set and I just watched it again. I'm like, wow, they nailed it.
Yeah.
So I love the colors. I love how it's sitting like that. Figures look great. Another Hunter, if I'm not mistaken, it's a different color scheme than the Pelican Hunter.
You're correct.
Yep.
So that's
it's
cool.
Similar, but yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah, but so another reason to get two, so you can keep the pair. But no, I'm really, really excited for this set. I think it holds a lot of value, especially because, like we were talking about, it looks like the Wasp is probably going to play a significant role in Halo Infinite. Yeah. So I'm excited. All of these sets I want, all of them.
I think the thing that gets me most excited is the fact that this Wasp feels slightly smaller and a little bit more refined. Because I've always seen the Wasp as like an ancestor for the Hornet. So I like how it feels a little bit more like how the Hornet evolved in Mega, where it went from this big beefy thing to this really streamlined sort of skeleton model that actually works really well now. It feels like there's been the same sort of design iteration here, which is really awesome to see. So we're going to move into the two smallest sets here. We're going to start first with the Escape helmet, which is the red mini helmet joining the blue, yellow and green ones, which we've already received. Again, something we saw a while back, and Halo Gear initially said that this was based on legacy game modes. There was nothing new in it. But obviously, since seeing the E3 gameplay demo, we now know that there is something very new and relevant in it. So does anyone have any particularly strong feelings around this one?
Why would they lie to us?
So I'll jump in on this one. I think that we're going to see these mini helmets. So this is going to be a similar offering to the drop pods that we had for a couple years on shelf. Right. Where they're, there's a handful of drop pods and they come out with different variations of them. And I like the size. We've talked about that. So I think it seems like we had, the first three colors. We're going to get the red one in the mix, and then we'll probably get a couple more colors over the next, year or two as they just kind of take advantage of the mold and give us, I think, interesting figures as a part of it.
Yeah.
And then just little nods to, it seems like they're all multiplayer focused, right? So little nods to the multiplayer game modes that we'll see in Infinite.
Cool.
I dig it. I think the red, this one's probably my favorite of all the helmets they've done. I think the figures that come with it are cool. I know there's been some speculation on the plants that are there. They're obviously the piece
they're
of
just plants.
Yeah, they're the piece that they use for the flood, so I can get why people are like, ooh.
Yeah.
But the game mode, we got is that the personal AI right there?
Yep. I am just Googling its name because there is an official
Lumu.
name out there.
Oh,
there we go. Colin, you came prepared.
Yeah. So I'm actually something about Infinite multiplayer that I find super intriguing is that personal AI. So it's kind of cool that we've right off the bat got figures are like a representation of it. So I don't have this set yet. My target's out, so everybody else has one, I know.
I have one sitting in Illinois for me currently.
Just sitting there, huh?
Yeah. I literally just imported all of those Jazzwares figures I mentioned earlier, and then the day after he posted them, my buddy was like, "Oh, look what I found!"
Yeah, it's like oof, double overseas postage.
I agree with you, Colin. I think the helmets are a really, really nice addition to the assortment.
Mhm.
And I will say, on a non-mega related note, but on the AIs, I do love the fact that the second one they revealed is British, because in the trailer he's like, "I'm your personal AI, codename Buddy." I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see the variety that they give us.
Well, that kind of really wraps it up then. So obviously, as we said at the top of the show, go ahead, Colin.
One thing, sorry, before we wrap it up, I think, why don't we just talk briefly about, and we don't know this yet, I don't think Mega will confirm this anytime soon, is what do you think is going to carry over on shelf? So, you know, this does seem like a lighter offering, but some of the stuff that's on shelf now will probably stick around. So what do you think is going to stick around? Like, will the...
Warthog.
The Warthog probably, but will the Pelican stick around? I mean, the Pelican hasn't been on shelf, but it's it's on Amazon, and it's kind of that prices remain steady. I would imagine that will stick around.
I think it will be all of the stuff that doesn't have an equivalent price point. So I think the AA turret will stick around.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Pelican will stick around. I think the exclusives will probably have a wider life cycle. I think the Wasp will probably replace the Skiff. Same with the Chopper replacing the Banshee, and I could eventually see the Razorback replacing the Warthog, although, like you say, it is quite a popular vehicle, so I think they might make an exception there. I think the Ghost and the Mongoose are going to stay for this year, kind of side by side as well, because when they do those case shipments, they tend to do so many of one vehicle and so many of the other vehicles, so it would make sense that the Ghost and the Mongoose are shipping together now. So yeah, I think really the only stuff that will become harder to find is probably the Skiff and the Banshee.
Yeah. I wonder if the Marine Pack will go away too, because we're getting the 20th anniversary. Like, that's a lot. I mean, we're getting a lot of figures.
Don't take the Marine Gear Pack away.
Just stock up now. Stock up while it's still there.
I got a few, yeah.
I will say, actually, I am quite surprised we didn't get an equivalent to that, because that seemed to be one of the packs that got a really, really big reaction when it was initially announced.
But that was a spring set, so we still could.
So maybe that's still to come, yeah.
Oh, like a banished version.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Ooh.
Or an ODST platoon pack.
Yeah. I'll buy that for $1.
Just $1, just one. So what were your guys' closing thoughts on the full assortment as a whole? Matt, I'll let you have your closing words first.
All in all, I'd say I'm pretty actually excited about getting these lines, getting all the figures in this line. So cool to see Kelly and Fred. We're just missing Linda, and so hopefully she's coming around the mountain when she comes. And so yeah, no, I think of all the things I'm most excited for is, like I said, the Brute Chopper takedown. All of them look great. Some figures, like I said, I'll probably just get, and I probably won't open, because all the figures that I find that I really like, I open, and then the ones I kind of. So the JFO, I'm looking at you. You'll probably stay in box, but I like collecting them all. But all in all, I'd say it's a really strong Infinite line. It gets me hyped for what's to come, especially in the game. 20th anniversary figure pack is probably one of the greatest things Mega's done. I'm kind of sad because I have to stop giving shade to Mega for not giving us a Miranda. So
yeah, that's right.
Closing that chapter in that book.
You have to come up with a new figure that they need.
Yeah, that's true. Lord Hood. Yeah, I can't believe Mega hasn't given us a Lord Hood. But no,
that's
really love this line.
We know.
Yeah, really love this line. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. Can't wait.
Cool. Colin.
I was thinking from a collection standpoint, because we had the first wave and the second wave, like we have a lot of stuff now,
Yeah.
And granted, this wave isn't as big as the first wave, but you adding the variety of the Wasp, which we haven't had. If you're trying to get a Wasp now, it's super expensive. Now you can have a Wasp, at MSRP. The Razorback's brand new, which is great. And then the choppers probably aren't too hard to come by because they're a low price point to anyway, but it's a new design. So now, we have from a Banish standpoint, we have a chopper, we have the skiff, we have a ghost, we have a banshee, and then that turret. Like we have a lot of stuff to kind of to have our battles.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with overall. I still want that bigger price point set. Again, the delay probably pushed that one back. So I'm really looking forward to see what they come up with for Shelf 2022, because I have higher expectations. The game will be out for a while. I'm sure they're working on it now.
So if you had to,
something big is coming.
If you had to pick, what would you think is coming? Like if you had to guess.
From a bigger set standpoint, I mean, it's got to be a Wraith. I think we've talked about that. I don't know if they're going to do a Phantom. Like a Phantom.
I honestly,
probably.
I think I just Mega. I know I'm probably 100% wrong on this, but you guys really loved Brickman's Phantom. You guys really showed that some love. So I'm hoping that means something.
Yeah. Brickman better talk. He probably built one for him.
It would be cool to have a structure, but if they keep doing the 2-in-1s, like what I did with Fort Perkins, the Pelican turned into a structure. Maybe we'll do something similar.
That really cool fan-made structure, Forerunner structure that Mega tweeted out the other day, I'd buy that. I'd buy a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so me and my structures.
That's right.
You like a lot of structure to your collection. Okay, so we're gonna take it out. Is there anything else that you guys would like to?
Well, what about you? You haven't given your thoughts.
Oh yeah. Oh, I get to do that as well.
Why don't you remind him? We were getting out.
Sorry, I'm just ingesting hair as well, which is great. What do I think? I think, like you say, it definitely feels like there isn't that higher price point item. Yeah. But at the same time, as somebody who has collected for a while, we were talking about this a little bit off the show beforehand, and they have never carried sets over. So usually it will just be like take the 20-in-1 Scorpion, for example. That sold really, really well. Fans wanted it to carry over, but it couldn't. So this is the first time they've ever done that, and I feel like that kind of alleviates that for me, because I'm like, okay, there's nothing new for me to buy per se, but there is still that price point in the assortment, and it still keeps people engaged at those price points.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the key thing for me. If that wasn't there, then I'd be thinking, oh, does that just mean we're not getting that price point moving forwards? But it keeps the door open for it, so I'm not really that concerned. And I think, again, given the fact that we actually still know relatively very, very little about Halo Infinite as a game, there's a really good diverse assortment of things again this time around, so I'm quite excited to get my hands on them.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. So we didn't ask a community question this time around. All of the new releases tend to be a little bit chaotic around this time of year, because we're sort of working our schedules around that kind of stuff, and obviously other things come up as well. But once we get out of release season and out of review season, we'll go back to doing all of our normal, beautiful community engagement as well. Was there anything on the community front that you guys wanted to shout out that you've seen recently?
We saw the throwback from Goodwill Hunter. He re-promoted his Razorback, which was kind of fun to see.
Yeah, that was
his take
good.
on that, and that came out a while ago, right? Like he came up with that back, and it was a riff off of the what vehicle was it? I'm forgetting what vehicle it was. Based off of
Wolverine.
Wolverine, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Matt, was there anything you wanted to shout out?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Well, I am going to shout out Red Construx very quickly. Red, I think we shouted you out before. You timed it very well because you tagged me in a photo on the day we're recording, your flag bearer photo on Twitter, and that is one of the few Halo things I've seen this month. I do also actually want to shout out the Halo spotlight for this month. It was really awesome seeing how many people in that spotlight have embraced the weapon already.
Oh, that was
There
cool.
were so many drawings, Mega Construx photos, other toy photos, and really, really cool pieces of art around that new character. So definitely go and check out that spotlight as well. And hopefully, if I have done my job properly, you might be seeing a little bit of it on screen right now. I might have got bored.
Both you guys got shouted out, right? Both you guys got
Yeah.
featured.
Yeah, that's right.
We both made it. So yeah, I think with all of that said, that will do it for the show. So thank you for joining Builds with Blocks. And if you like the show, please do feel free to support Podcast Evolved on Patreon. Until next time, evolved.
Evolved.